Yo, what up everybody? It's Stefan here from Mod2Fame, and we are back with another video. No, we're not in Killmonger. Today we're in a Porsche and we're taking it drag racing, and I want to take you guys with me because in today's video I'm going to teach you a step-by-step guide on how to drag race. Alright, let's jump into it. Let's go. Alright guys, so today we're on the way down to Atco Dragway. That's down in South Jersey. For us, it's about an hour and a half away. A lot of times you hear complaints about people racing on the streets and stuff like that, and I don't condone it. However, when it's this difficult to get to a drag strip, sometimes you're gonna go outside of the rules. But I wanna today encourage you to get to a drag strip for a different reason. Not only for safety, I wanna show you guys how you can actually see how your car performs. This is a Porsche Panamera Turbo Gen 1. This particular car, when it was stock, the fastest I'd ever done was an 11.9 seconds at 117 miles an hour. Today, this car is now slightly modified. It has IPD plenum, catless downpipes, the tune from DME, and a drop-in filter from BMC. If you consider tires a mod, I'm on Toyo 888 in the back, but not all the way around. It is an all-wheel drive car, so I should be on all the way around. I'm just trying it this way, just to see what we get. Today's goal, though, what we hope to do is an 11.2 or an 11.1. It's so much involved in drag racing. It's not just the power of the car. A lot of it has to do with your driving ability. So today I'm gonna help you with that driving ability component. So we're gonna get to the drag strip. I'm gonna show you what the process is to check in. I'm gonna show you how to set up your car. And then what we're gonna learn is how to line up your car, how to set up for what is called the tree, how and when to launch your car, and then how to get the data from the track and do it all over again to improve. So let's drive out. There's some cool cars there driving that was next to us a little bit. We're gonna ride with them. You know, hopefully they don't want to smoke us. Anyway, let's jump into it. Come on. Look like 20s in the front, 21s in the back. Alright, so one of the things that you have to pay attention to when you're drag racing is your fuel. There are options. You got regular gas, you got 93 octane. If you live in California, you have 91 octane, or the West Coast. If you live in the Northeast, Middle America, most of you guys have 93 octane. The problem is during different seasons, there's different blends. And those different blends are not always consistent. If you know you're about to go and beat on your car, it's always safe, if you can, to drop in either a little bit of race gas. When you're drag racing, you don't want too much gas because that's extra weight. You don't want too little gas because you could starve the fuel pump and your car will buck, or worst case scenario, you'll mess up your car. As the day goes on, if I need more gas, I'll leave and go get gas. So if you see 260 GT over there, race fuel, 260 GT is 100 octane. This one actually says 110, so it must be GT plus. This is actually 110 and it is leaded. So I know a lot of you are gonna be like, you can't put leaded. Listen, 1 gallon ain't gonna kill nothing, it ain't gonna hurt nothing, but it is gonna make sure my fuel is clean. Then I'm gonna add in 2 gallons of 93. That'll still keep me under half a tank, which means I can race all day. As the day progresses, maybe I'll get a little bit lighter with less gas and go a little faster. So, all right, so there it is, 1.5 gallons, nothing crazy. I know I said 1, but be all right. Hello.
Hi.
Racing?
1 race and 2 watch.
That's it, yep.
$80, please.
There you go.
Are you paying for everybody?
Yep. So this is the check-in, guys, you know what I mean? Today they're charging 50 to race, which is a pretty good number, but that means it's gonna be a lot of people. What I like to do is I like to come to rentals where you pay 200, but it's like, you know, way less cars, like 20, 30 cars, and you run all day as much as you want.
Right.
All right. Get that sign for you.
Thank you.
All right, have a good one.
Have a good day.
Easy does it, just like that. Hello, sir.
How you doing?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
Good. As long as this weather holds out.
Yeah, man. It's a good day today.
Anything done to it? Turbo super, nothing?
No, just tune. Nah, what he means is like anything that would make it go below the time that without a roll cage. So anything below 9.5 seconds.
You're gonna be in lanes 9 and 10.
Lane 9 and 10, thank you. Anything that runs below 9.5, you have to have roll cage, fire jacket, and all that stuff. And we're not going anywhere near that. My launch control isn't even engaging right now, so I would be shocked if we go past 11.2. All right, guys, so we made it to the track. Now it plays the waiting game, right? So what do you do with this time? Tire pressures, remember I talked about that? When you're coming off the highway, tire pressures are usually very high. So what I'm gonna do now is, using the TPMS sensors, I'm gonna knock down the tire pressure to, in this particular car, I'm gonna start at about 22 PSI. Well, right now the tires are a little hot, so I'm gonna drop down to 25. When they get cold, it'll drop down to about 22. Then when I start to drive again, it'll warm back up. The reason why I'm not going super duper low is because this is an all-wheel drive car. It's not gonna struggle with traction too much. As you can see, he's doing the same thing. I'll check the pressures in a minute to make sure it's right. So we started, the rears were at about 32. I just held it for about 15 seconds and I'll check it in a minute to see where that nets us. But the front ones I know were somewhere around like 38. We're gonna get those down in the front, probably to about 30, 20, 28. So if your car doesn't have a TPMS sensor setup, you should have a tire pressure gauge. Tire pressure gauge is actually more accurate anyway. You know, we're not racers like that, so we don't really gotta go too crazy. The thing is about tires, the way that they work are, the harder the tire, the harder it is for that tire to get grip. Tires, rubber, think of gum, the harder the gum, the harder to chew, right? So it's the same thing with tires. The more tire pressure you have, the harder that tire is gonna be. This is called the sidewall. And these sidewalls are built to hold up a car. But what it is also doing is it's not allowing that gum effect to happen. So by letting out tire pressure, what you're doing is you're making the sidewalls a little softer and more conducive to what you need, is which is called flex. And that flex is what you need for traction. Once it flexes a little bit, it can bite, it can hold, and get you out of that hole. Some people go a lot more, some people do a lot less. I just always start out a little high and see if it hooks up. If it hooks up, I don't need to let any more out, because the other adverse effect is the softer the tire, the more wallowy the car feels. What you see is cars at the very top end of the track at a very high speed. When they lose control, it's really bad and it's really hard to catch it because the tires are now soft. Do what's best for you, but I always, as a safety precaution, start out a little bit higher. So for an example, right now we should be around 25 and 30, which is like almost regular street pressures. Here we are, we about to run it. That was a little test pull right there. All right, here we go. Y'all see that Mustang over there? Uh-oh. The thing I don't like about drag racing on days like this, so crowded, you spend so much time waiting. So how long was my run? 11.5 seconds. So I waited all this time to spend 11.5 seconds on the track. So that's the only bad part. But we're gonna be good. Now I'm gonna set the car up. I left my suspension in full stiff mode. I messed up, I wasn't paying attention. Left my suspension on full stiff. What you wanna do is you wanna soften it up and make it yaw. You need that weight transfer to lock in and hunch down on the back wheels so you can take off like a rubber band. So we're gonna redo that and we'll make it happen, don't worry guys. All right, guys, so I had to come somewhere a little bit more quiet. So I waited to the next day so that I could actually give you my undivided attention. What we're gonna do is go over the steps so that you know exactly what it is that I did yesterday that made me and gave me the ability to drag race properly. You got to the drag strip, you're all checked in. What's next? You go to your pit area. Usually that's just the area where everyone is setting up. This is your opportunity to set your car up right. If you have a modern car, there are settings that you need to get in place. Adjust suspension, throttle response, transmission. Much like a Hellcat, you want to have the suspension and the most comfort setting that you have available to you. Next setting that you want to probably set up is your traction control. This goes a lot to driver ability. Some cars has full traction off, and then they have an option where it gives you just a little bit of slip. If you're super confident in your abilities, then no problem, cut the traction completely off. But that might not be the best thing for the car. You gotta kind of know the car and you gotta go through testing to see which one is best. If not, I would suggest going kind of in the middle between off and like some sort of a setting that allows some slip. Braking traction at the drag strip is the enemy. Next setting that you probably want to work on is if you have an automatic transmission and you have transmission settings, you want to put it in probably the most aggressive shift option that you have available. But like I said, that's different for every car, specifically for Hellcat, Scat Pack, along those lines. And also if you have a power setting, whether you can do it in a lower or a sport, put your power setting in the most aggressive setting. So just to recap, suspension in the most comfort mode possible, transmission in the aggressive setting, traction control in the middle, power level at its highest level. Those are the settings that you want electronically. Now mechanically, there are some settings that we got to talk about, which are tire pressures. As you saw, we got the car, we started setting up the tire pressures, and you're ready to pull up to the line for the first time. Usually there's some person standing at the beginning of the line and tell you when to come. If you have an all-wheel drive car, more than likely, you're going to make sure that you try your darndest to avoid the water box. Kind of like you see me doing now in a Porsche. You don't want water on your tires. If you're in a rear-wheel drive car, you can go ahead and go through the water box. You're gonna start your burnout. You want to get some heat in your tires because the more heat in your tires, the more the tires are gonna stick, and that's what's gonna propel you forward. You want speed in the burnout to get the most smoke. So in a case of automatic vehicles, if your car has enough power to do a second gear burnout, start your burnout in second gear, automatic or manual transmission, because you want the speed. The speed is what creates the smoke, and you want that smoke, but you don't want to hold it too long. You just want to warm the tires enough. So you might want to start the burnout 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, maybe 3 Mississippi, and then continue to burn out, let off the brake, continue to burn out, and you want to go through the water that will be on the front tires and smoke that water off as well. And in most cases, if the track prep is not that great, to go ahead and continue past that tree. Just a little, not too much. Once you stop, you want to then back up to the tree. If you don't go through the tree, it's fine. I'm just telling you, if you have the right tires, which we have to cover, that's a whole nother subject. However, you want to now get set up at the tree. There will be another person that's conducting the tree. There's a pre-stage and a stage. What you're going to do is there's 2 sets of yellow bulbs at the top. The ones at the top is called pre-stage. When your front tires hit that first one, that's pre-stage. That means you're pre-stage and ready to go to the next one. At that point, you want to stay on your brakes. If you have an automatic transmission vehicle and you decide that you want to foot brake your car, now is your opportunity to get that set up while you're pre-staged. What you can do is put your left foot on the brake, begin to ease your right foot on the gas, push forward a little bit until you see the second set of bulbs lit, which is now staged. You want to continue to hold your foot on the brake and the gas, and what that's doing is it's loading your torque converter in an automatic vehicle car, and it's going to allow you to then shoot off when it's time. What you want to do is let the car next to you stage first. So the car that's next to you, he's going to pre-stage, and then he's going to stage. You have your foot on the brake, you start to load up into the gas, and now you're pushing into stage. Now both of you are staged. On what is called a full tree or a traditional drag race tree, you're going to see 3 yellow bulbs that begin to come down. Bulb 1 lights up, bulb 2 lights up, bulb 3 lights up, green. And on green, that is when that means that it is okay to go. It's green, you let off the brake, mat the throttle to the floor, and if your wheels do not spin, you hold on for dear life. And you stay on that gas until you cross the scoreboard. Some tracks, the finish line is a little bit after the scoreboard, but there's a yellow line that goes across the track. That's it. You're done. You've gone 1,320 feet. You can now begin to slow down. You're going to now exit the track. Rule of thumb, the car that is in the left lane, if the exit is on the left, allow that car to exit first. If the car that's in the right lane and the exit is on the right lane, let that car exit first. The reason why is because you don't want to cut across that car and then you guys have an accident coming off the track. Now you're gonna come up the taxiway or the runoff way going back. And usually there is some sort of a station there. You pull up to that station, you grab your time slip and go ahead and pull off. And then as soon as you can pull over and analyze your time slips and see what you did. In a future video, I will describe to you what is on that time slip. If you have a manual transmission, you've now done your burnout, you pull up, you pre-stage. With a manual transmission car, you actually want to try to stage before the other car. And the reason why you want to try to do that is because manual transmission cars, you need more time to get your RPMs set right, because you're going to want to launch with a little bit of RPMs, but not too much, but just enough so you don't bog, and not too much so you don't spin. Yellow, 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 green, go. Let out the clutch. More than likely, it depends on the power level you have. Some cars you can dump the clutch. Some cars you might have to let it out a little bit slower so that you slip it a little bit, so that you don't just blow the tires off or spin the tires. Every car is different. This comes with practice. Manual transmission cars by far are the hardest to drag race. Now there's 3 sets of yellow lines actually. There's an 1/8 mile, 1,000 foot mark, and then the finish line. You want to go past that last one. Cutting a good light is crucial in drag racing. You can literally have the slower car and win the drag race. What you want to do is, on a full tree like what we talked about, yellow, yellow. On that 3rd yellow, you can go ahead and mat the gas and go. The reason why is because there's a human delay between your eye and you telling your body to make that move. And that delay could literally be 1/100th of a second. But 1/100th of a second at the tree can net as much as a 1/10th of a second at the 1/4 mile mark. That's huge. That's a car length. That's a full car length. Before we continue, March 7th, if you were anywhere near the Texas Motorplex in Dallas, Texas, then come meet me at the Big Showdown, hosted by Demonology and Donkmaster. I will be there hosting as well as racing other YouTubers. It'll be myself, Demonology, Donkmaster, It's Just a Six, Drag Times, Stang Mode, and much, much more. So make sure you guys are there. Come support, come meet your boy. I cannot wait to meet you, Dallas, Texas. It's gonna be a good ass time. Back to the video. That is a step-by-step guide on how to drag race from the time that you leave your house to the time that you arrive at the track to the time you do that first pass. Now, the thing about drag racing is it only gets better with practice. And you know what? The car may do something different every time depending on conditions. So I know you might read a magazine that says that your car does a 1/4 mile in 11.5 seconds. That was the best of what they were able to do, probably out of 20 runs. So therefore, don't worry about it, guys. Just get out there, do your best, have fun, but give it a shot. I think everybody should give it a shot. It's something that we all need to get out of our system and experience. Plus, it gets you off the street, to be honest with you. I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope this information was valuable to you and you're able to use it. But have fun with it, guys. Enjoy it. It's your boy Stefan here from Mod2Fame. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, hit that bell notification so you don't miss no more videos. But until the next one, we out.